Hi everyone, Ravi this side. Welcome to Engineering Adda. So today I'm going to discuss Google OAuth 2, how we can secure our Spring Boot application using OAuth 2. So what is OAuth? First of all, I just want to explain you and how we can use OAuth to secure our Spring Boot or any application that we are going to develop. So let me go to the next slide and then let me explain you what is OAuth. So OAuth stands for Open Authorization. It is an open standard protocol for authorization of application for using user information. In general, it allows a third-party application access to user-related information like name, date of birth, email, or other required data from an application like Facebook or Google without giving the third-party app the user password. So I will explain you what it does. So let's say you have developed a Spring Boot application and you have created couple of APIs, okay, and some third party person or some client want to access your API and you have used the Google Auth tool to secure your application. So let's say when somebody is trying to hit your APIs, then a Google authorization page will open up and it will ask for the username and password to that person and the username and the user related other details like date of birth, email. Your application can able to use that, but the password for the user is very protected. You cannot use the password of the user. So that is what it is saying here, without giving the third party app the user password. So your application won't be able to see the user password. Your application can use the name and the email of uh, the user that is accessing your APIs. So what I'm going to develop here is I'm going to create a Spring Boot application and I will create one API there, and whenever you are going to hit that API, whenever some person is trying to access my API, then he or she will be having a Google authorization page open up. Once he or she will provide their credential, username and password, then only they will be able to access the API. So let me go to the IntelliJ and then let me create a Spring Boot application. So before going to the development, what we need to have is we need to have a client ID and the secret key. So that we need to obtain from the Google. So let me go to the Google console and then let me show you how you can create that. So just search for the Google console, okay, and you can go to the Google Cloud Platform. Okay, and you can also here you can see there is a option called console. So you can go to the console. You have to go to console. There we have the multiple option there, and then you have to go to the application and services. So there is a option called APIs and services. Inside that we have to generate our credentials. So let it reload, and then after that what I can do, I can go there and then I will show you what you need to do. Okay, it is taking a few seconds of time to reload. Not a problem. So you can see in the navigation menu, you can see this APIs and services. Inside the API and services, you can see credentials. So you need to go there. Okay, let it reload. Okay, so you can see this APIs keys, and I already created couple of application here with the Google OAuth tool. So it has already generated the client IDs for this. Okay, but right now I'm going to create a new one. So here you can see this option create credentials. You need to select this. So once you will select it, open up this menu and you can see multiple option here. So there is API key, auth client ID, service account, and help me choose. So you have to select the auth client ID. Okay, so just select that. Once you will select it, it will ask for a couple of information from you, like what is your application name and the APIs that you are going to expose. So we need to provide that. Once we provide, then we can create our this secret key. So let it reload. So it reloaded. You can see there is an application type and the name of the application that you need to provide. You need to provide this authorized JavaScript origin. This is the URL that your application will be exposed to and where you want to apply the security. And then here you need to provide the Google authorization URL. So here in the application type, you can see there is a multiple application type: web application, Android application, Chrome application. So any of the application that you are developing, you can choose this. So I'm developing the web application. Let me choose this. And then let's say the name of the application is web client 5, or you can also rename it. So I'm just keeping it like this only. And now let me go to the next thing that we need to do. So here we need to provide the uh, localhost URL on which our application will be up. So let me add that. So let's say it is up on the localhost 9191 port. Okay, now let me add the authorization URL. So let's say it is 9191 login, OAuth, code, and Google. Now you need to create it. Once you will create it, it will generate the client ID and the secret. So that you need to copy somewhere so that you can keep it. So you can see it has created the client ID and the client secret. So both of them you will need to configure your application. So either you can download in the form of JSON or you can keep it somewhere in the notepad. So let me open a notepad and let me copy them. So come here, copy the client ID, come to the notepad. Let's say it's client ID, pasted it, come here and then let me copy the secret. Okay, let me go there and it is secret here. So yeah, that is done. Now come here and then click OK. So we have created our application here and we have the secret key and the client ID for that. Now let me go to the IntelliJ and create the application here. So let me go to the new and project. Let me name it like Google OAuth security in Spring Boot app, something like that. Okay, let me go next. We need to have couple of starter dependencies. So Spring Web, because we are developing the web application. Now coming to the authorization, we need OAuth to client. Okay, let me create this. So it will take few seconds to configure and create the application, and it will take some few seconds to download the dependency that we have added here. So let me go to this and once it is configured, what I need to do, I'm just going to create a REST controller, okay, and there I will create a get mapping, okay, and with the help of the get mapping, what I will do, I will try to just return some strings, okay, and the other thing what I need to create is I need to create a configuration class where I can configure some beans, and with the help of those beans, what I will need to do, I need to authorize each of the HTTP requests that we are getting from the client. So let me go to the application, let me go to the source, main, Java, and here let me create a package called controller. Okay, now let me create some other package called config. Okay, now let me go to the config and then let me try to create a configuration class. So let's say it's a Spring config. Okay, here this is a configuration class, so we need to annotate this class with the annotation called @configuration, and this is the configuration class. So we need to create the bean of this security filter chain. So with the help of security filter chain, what I will need to do, I just need to uh, authorize and authenticate each request that we are getting from the client side. Earlier we were using the Spring Security adapter configurer, but this is deprecated now. So that is why this time what we'll need, we'll use Spring Security Filter Chan. So let me try to create the bean of that. So it is public security filter chain. So it is not Spring Security, it is it is security filter chain. Let me create the method name. Okay. So here we need to pass the HTTP request, HTTP security request. Okay. Let's say it's HTTP security, and whatever HTTP request that we are getting from the client, we need to authorize it. So let me do some configuration here. So let's say it's HTTP security dot any, like we are getting any request. So whatever request we are getting, we need to authorize it. So there is a method called authorize HTTP request dot. We need to do any request. So any request we are getting, we need to authorize it. Now what we need to do, we need to authenticate it. So let's say it's authenticated, and then what we need to do, we need to provide the auth2 login here. And once it is done, we need to build it and then return it. So let's say it's build, and then we need to return it. Okay, why it is giving exception? Let me try to. Okay, so we need to either we can use the try catch, or we can throw this exception. So once it is thrown, yeah, we are okay. So what we did, we created one configuration class, and we created a bean of security filter chain. And with the help of the security filter chain, what we'll do, we'll try to authenticate and every request that we are getting from the client side. Earlier we were using web security configurer adapter for that, but now this is that one is deprecated. So that is why the new feature that we can use for the securing our REST APIs is security filter chain. Okay, so now we are done with the configuration. So let me go to the controller. Let's say it's a basic controller or something like controller example. Okay, here I am going to create a get mapping. So let me annotate this class with the REST controller, and let me also create a mapping with the request mapping. Okay, let's say it's API, and here what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create a get mapping here. So let's say it's get, and let me create one method which is returning a simple string. So let's say it's a public string and get message, something like that. Okay, let me come down and let me simply return a message. So secure your app with Google OAuth 2.0. Okay, so this is the simple message that I'm going to pass. So we are done with the creation of the controller class. We have created the Spring config class as well. We are done with the configuration as well. Now coming to the application properties file, let me create an application YML file, and then there I will provide the configuration for the auth2 client. So let's say it's application.yml. Okay, here what we need to provide, we need to provide the client ID and the secret that we have created from the Google Cloud. So for that, let's say it's a Spring security or to client registration, and here we need to provide the the name of the third party that we are using here. So let's say it's a Google, and let me provide the client ID, and the second thing is client secret. So there are a couple of third party vendors that are providing the OAuth tool, like Google is there, we have the GitHub, we have the Facebook. So using any of them, you can secure an application. So we are done with this. Now let me go to the notepad. Here we have this client ID and the secret. So let me go to the IntelliJ here. Now come here and let me provide the client ID. And let me go to the notepad again, copy this secret and then provide it here. Come to the IntelliJ and let me come here, provide the secret. So we are done with the configuration as well. Now let me try to run this application. Okay, just one thing we are missing is when we are creating the web client 5, we have provided our URL as a localhost 9191. The port number was 9191. So here this application need to be up on the port number 9191. So for that I'm going to change our port number. So let me do that. So it's a server.port, that is 9191. Now we are done with the configuration. Now let me try to run this application and then we'll see how it is working. Let me go to the controller class here. So you can see our API is API/get. So this application is up on the port number 9191. Let me go to the browser and then let me open this HTTP localhost 9191 and then slash and then it is API/get. Let me hit it. So you can see it open up the Google sign in page. So let's say I'm going to use this ID to get the information. So you can see because I already have logged in my this Gmail, so that is why I have saved my password. So that is why it is automatically taking up the password, and you can see we are able to see the message. Let me show you where it is asking for the password. So let me open the Chrome and then let me show you how it is behaving. So let me try to log in with this ID. Okay. And then try to hit the API. So let me go there and then copy this API. Copy it. Come here. Let's say it's a get. Okay. You can see it has opened up the sign in page. Now let me try to sign in with this. Okay. I have saved the password for this also. So that is why it is directly coming up. Okay. Let me try to sign in with the some other username so that I can show you that it is asking for the password as well. Okay, let me try to log in some another user. Let's say guest. Okay, so the URL was this and then get. Just hit enter. You can see a Google sign in page has came up. Now you can see you have to provide your email here. So let's say I'm providing my email. So let's say it's a Ravi. Okay, let's say it's a Baba Ravi triple B. Okay, at the rate gmail.com. Now go next. Triple B. Now go next. See, you can see it is asking for the password as well. So you can provide your password. Let's say my password is okay. Now let me go next. You can see because I have turned up the two-step verification, so it has given a notification to my mobile number. And let me press yes, and it's me. Let me authenticate it from my mobile, and then yeah, you can see once it is authenticated from the mobile, you can see we are able to see this message here. So every time when someone is trying to hit your API, a Google authorization page will come up and it will ask for the username and password. You have to provide your username and password if you want to access the API. And that username you can use the person who has developed the application, that they can use the username of the person that is going to hit the API. But the password is very secure. So that is about the Google OAuth tool. Okay. And if you like the video, please hit the like button and please support me by subscribing the channel. So thanks for your support.